everybody, what's going on? It's me, your buddy Dave, back here with a new video. I'm sitting here on a Saturday morning and I'm taking a rare sort of morning off. I have work to do, I just don't feel like doing it. I generally record my radio shows, which air on Sunday. I record them on Saturday. I just kind of don't feel like doing that right now either. So I wanted to make a quick video. I got a few things, and then I want to talk about a show I saw last night, which ordinarily I'd be like raving about because it's one of my favorite bands of all time. But I have to say, like last night, I just wasn't feeling it, and I left early, like probably with an hour left of show to go, and that seems really bizarre. But let me start off with a couple of records I got. One, I think I showed this on CD in a couple videos ago. There's a band called Teen, and this is their album Love Yes. And I played this record a lot on my radio show, and so the record company sent me a copy of the album on vinyl, which is cool because this is a great band. They're kind of a little bit of an 80s throwback. There's a little synthy and stuff. They've got, you know, it's a gatefold record, double LP, on black vinyl, which again, rare for kind of a new band, but I ended up liking the record. Well, then they sent, inside of it was this poster that all the girls in the band signed for me. So I'm gonna be framing that at some point. I wish they could have signed the album personally, because I would have liked to frame the album, but that's okay. I mean, I'll frame the poster instead, you know, no big deal. So that's a cool thing that I got. I picked up, I got a friend of mine bought me a gift certificate to a record store as a thank you for getting her some tickets to a concert that came a while ago. So I went and used it finally over at Almost Music, and I found this record, and like, I really don't know what to think of it, okay? Like, it's for the Rolling Stones Harlem Shuffle. This is the 12-inch for the track. Now, Harlem Shuffle is considered by many Stones fans to be like the Stones' worst single. Or at least at the time it was considered that. I know it's a cover song, but it was considered like almost borderline racist, and like, you know, the Stones are not racists, okay, but they do, and they have in the past kind of tiptoed up to the line of what would be considered racism, and then they kind of back off a bit. I mean, if you listen to the song Some Girls, a lot of people have said that has racial undertones. Brown Sugar, certainly, if you actually read the lyrics, are kind of offensive. I mean, but I don't take that as like the Stones are racist or whatever, but Harlem Shuffle was a really stupid song, and it was like, and I even kind of like it, actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's dumb and it's borderline racist. I still sort of enjoy it. This cover though is like over the top, like what is this? Why did the Stones think that was an okay cover? I just don't get it, but I bought it, had 2 remixes of the song, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get it anyways. Stones Harlem Shuffle, maybe for the novelty of it. The Rolling Stones try and pretend like that never existed, but before you grab a headline that says Dave Splash says the Rolling Stones are racist, I didn't. I don't believe that, but I do think they like to be provocative and they're willing to go up to the line. And that may have been unintentional. Maybe they just thought that was funny. I mean, it kind of looked like a Paula Abdul video or something, but with like definitively black faces that they were trying to stereotype or what. And that's pre-Paula Abdul. What am I saying? I'm dating myself there. Okay. Then I picked up the newest Guided by Voices album, Let's Be Honest. This is the brand new album where Robert Pollard plays all the instruments. He is guided by voices, always has been for the most part. But I picked it up because I was going to see the band last night, and there they also had this from a Pollard side project called Teenage Guitar. I picked up this album, More Lies from the Gooseberry Bush. Now I haven't had a chance to listen to this yet, but it was there, it was brand new on vinyl, and I thought, you know, I just cannot keep up with everything that Robert Pollard does. It's pretty much impossible. The guy puts out just too much stuff, okay? There has to be a little bit of self-censorship in an artist, even one that you really, really like. Like, I love Guided by Voices. I've been listening to them since 1993. I'm by no means a completist, but I'm going to run through a little bit of my collection here to show you before I talk about the disappointment of the show last night. Here's my Under the Bushes, Under the Stars LP. It's a gatefold. Not going to take it out. I'm just going to burn through this stuff. Here's a Robert Pollard collection called The Kids Eat It Up, the best of Robert Pollard, 2010 to 2011. That's how much stuff he has. He has a greatest hits that just encompasses 2 years. Ridiculous. Here's a promo thing with 2 Robert Pollard albums that were released at the same time, Coast to Coast, Carpet of Love, and Standard Gargoyle Decisions. And this is a little thing that Merge Records put together. Those are the 2 single album covers. This is a packaging to put them together. Here's a promo version of Waved Out. That's a solo album he did. Here's the CD of Not in My Air Force. Here's some Guided by Voices 7 inches. This is something to do with the Grifters and Magnet Magazine. Here's one with Freedom Cruise. That's a side project from Robert Pollard. Guided by Voices, I Am a Tree. Guided by Voices, Get Out of My Stations. This is Guided by Voices and Cobra Verde, split 7-inch. Guided by Voices, The Opposing Engineer. Okay, I'm pointing all of this out to show, and I probably have like 30% of this band's output in the last 20 years. Let's burn through CDs. Okay, Motivational Jumpsuit, The Bears for Lunch. Here's English Little League. Those are the 3 comeback CDs from the returning band when the classic lineup got back together. Class Clown, Spotsy UFO, Let's Go Eat the Factory, Pipe Dreams, The Instant Whippet, Mag Earwig. Here's Sunfish Holy Breakfast. Here's the box set, Box, the initial one, with their first 5 albums, or first 4 albums, and the 5th album was a disc of unreleased tracks called King Shit and the Golden Boys. There's the box. Here's my Iron Man Rally song CD. Here's Alien Lanes. Here's my original I Am a Scientist EP with a different version of it on the track. I also have that on record. I don't know why I didn't find it. Pulling through my stuff. B1000. Okay, here is, which I also have this on 7-inch. I don't know where it went. I didn't pull it up. But anyways, this is another EP from Guided by Voices. Here's the Vampire on Titus and, let's see here, and Propeller double CD. This is the way it was packaged for a while. They put the 2 of them on the one CD. The Grand Hour. I just burned through that shit to show that I am a fucking loyal fan and I like Guided by Voices. But that, literally what I just ran through, maybe a quarter of the stuff that they've put out. It is impossible to keep up with this group, and I used to think it was just like sort of like a fool's errand. Now I'm thinking like the quality level is completely dipping. Like, I tried listening to a little bit of this Please Be Honest to get warmed up for the show last night, because I figured, well, it's the new record, so the band is probably gonna be playing stuff from that. I got like 6 songs in. I heard one that sounded like really good, and you know, I was like, all right, you know what, maybe I'm not in the right frame of mind. You don't listen to the band you're gonna see the day of the show. That's a bad omen, maybe, perhaps. So this is a long-winded way of saying, let me get to the show. I went to see Guided by Voices last night at a place called Vega in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's about 45 minutes away from where I live in Omaha. It's the college town. It's where the University of Nebraska football team is. And opening the show was a really great band from Omaha that I've seen 100 times called Little Brazil. And to me, Little Brazil is like Omaha's answer to say Superchunk or Built to Spill. They're like a good merging of the two, Superchunk and Built to Spill. And they've been chugging away for years. One of the members, Landon, who's the singer-guitar player, plays bass in the band Desaparecidos, which is the Conor Oberst sort of punk rock band. So if you've seen Desaparecidos, you've seen him before, but Little Brazil has never really gotten that many breaks. They're a good band. They have like 3 CDs. You can probably find them online. I would recommend buying them if you like Superchunk or Built to Spill, because the quality level is pretty good. So, they're a good band, solid indie band. I thought they put on a good set. The rhythm section, the drummer has been in the band for a couple years, but he's still new in comparison to how old the band is, and the lead guitar player was different. So that was my first full set of theirs I've seen with the new lineup, even though it's been that way for probably like a year or two or something. The original drummer of that band went on to form a group called Twinsmith. You might know them. They recorded for Saddle Creek Records. Anywho, they did the set. Waited a little bit, Guided by Voices came on. I'd never been to Vega. It's a pretty decent place. It's a smallish club, but nice stage. It sounded okay in there. It was a nice room. I mean, it was in this weird sort of complex, kind of close to the football stadium. I imagine if I went to college in Lincoln, that would be the place I would go to see shows a lot, I would guess. So Guided by Voices comes on. And I've been reading little things about their set list of this last week, because the tour is in its first week. And Bob Pollard did start a new lineup of Guided by Voices recently. The only guy I know in the band is Bobby Baird Jr. So I'm reading the set list, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't recognize this stuff. But when you have this much stuff, and this is like barely even a sampling of it, it's hard to keep track of song titles, because, there's too many of them, frankly. So I thought, well, all right. It's songs I'll know once they start playing them. Maybe I just don't recognize the titles or something. Okay. They open up with a song that Pollard says is from a side project of his called Wicked Ricky, which I don't have any of this stuff. He has another one called something Pablo or whatever. He's got all these different side projects, plus all the solo albums, plus Guided by Voices is just him, because he plays all the instruments anyways. The set was so convoluted and had so much stuff, and every 5 or 6 songs, they would play a classic Guided by Voices song, or at least one that I'd heard of. And that made the show sort of tolerable. Like, they'd come in and they'd do Cutout Witch or something.
Lincoln, Nebraska, with the Cutout Witch. She won't finish, gonna fall and bust. You turn to dust, so I think, cut out this bust. There's another busy day for the traffic, for the thread for our hands, need another stitch, for the needles in our eyes every July. It's another busy day for the traffic.
Anyways, the new band was tight. They play well, no complaints about that. They knew the songs, they knew the material. And I sort of, when I heard that Bob broke up the quote-unquote classic lineup, which that was the lineup that I first started seeing them in 93, 94, 95, that period, which is sort of their peak and the creative peak, maybe their popularity peak. I love that band. I like the personalities of all the guys. Mitch Mitchell on guitar and how he's always smoking, and the big fucking Pete Townsend kind of arm turns that he does, and Tobin Sprout and all of the other various guys from the band. I'm drawing Greg Demos on bass, and they had personalities. But I get it, Pollard didn't want to put up with those personalities when he is the guy who's Guided by Voices. He already did this once in the late 90s, broke up the band, reformed it with new guys. That band broke up, he got back with the classic lineup, Those guys, that's over. Now he's back with this new lineup. Anyways, my criticism is not the lineup. Okay, those guys are fine. It's just the set list. You have to. They come out there. We're going to do 50 songs.
Picking out 50 songs for you guys, one for every state.
You know, great, 50 songs. But if only 5 of them are from classic Guided by Voices albums that people who have been following this band for 20 some odd years recognize, you're getting into self-indulgent bullshit territory. And I hate saying this because I love Robert Pollard and I love Guided by Voices, but I just gave up on keeping up with all of the stuff that comes out. I can't possibly do it. And I really think that they're killing their audience, their draw. The only people that were there last night, there were probably like 150 people maximum at this show. Guided by Voices used to draw thousands when the classic lineup reunion was first announced, or at least pack any club they could play. The audience is dwindling because they're playing 40 of 50 songs are off these obscure solo projects. They're just playing to their mailing list and people who are obsessive. And that's fine, but you can't draw top dollar and charge $25 for tickets and call yourself Guided by Voices if your entire set is stuff off solo projects that sell like 50 copies and stuff because nobody can keep up with it. This is the last I'm going to say of it. I love Guided by Voices. I was disappointed in the show last night. If they are coming to your town, I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying be warned. If you are a GBV completist and you have every Wicked Ricky, and every Pollard solo album, and every Boston Spaceships, and every side project, and every album, maybe there's going to be something for you. But if you're the fan that has the classic albums like Alien Lanes, and Vampire on Titus, and B1000, and Mad Earwig, and stuff like that, you're going to be disappointed because you're going to be standing around a lot going, I don't fucking recognize this stuff. So this is my warning to folks on Guided by Voices. I think they're kind of coming to an end as an entity because they're just not a band. They're just a forum for Bob Pollard to get drunk and sing all these obscure songs that none of the fans have even heard. Anyways, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just giving you some truth here on a Saturday morning. Take care. Bye-bye.
Something like you have